Alright everybody, how are we doing today? Steve Minglico, another video here for you. I basically want to talk today about how you can get started coding yourself, how to get started in this field. And basically there's three different approaches that pretty much every programmer takes, and we'll go over all three of them. The first is going to be a university, where you go to a 4-year degree, you get a bachelor in science of computer programming, computer science, and you can go that route. The second route is nowadays they have what they call coding boot camps, or really advanced coding courses that you go in, and within 2-3 months they kind of push you through the whole program. It's really intensive, it's kind of expensive, but that's the second way. And then the third way is going to be the self-taught, and that's personally how I am. So let's just take a quick look at the different ways to learn how to program and to learn how to build and to learn these different languages. So the first way, I went to the University of Minnesota, so I just pulled up their computer science and bachelor's. Now, the thing about what's happening with the computer science at the university level is they're doing a lot of this very high up core, development and programs. So you're learning stuff like almost like creating operating systems and some of these real foundational skills, and not actually these coding languages. So they're not having classes on HTML. They're not having classes on CSS. You might have a Java class, but how much, Java are you really doing in 2020? Unless you're doing back-end programming. So the problem has been is that a lot of these computer science degrees at the university level are more about the applications of programming and computers and how they're built and how they operate, as opposed to the actual learning the languages and how to become a better computer programmer. So that's the first way, is you can go to a 4-year university. Now the problem with this is it's the longest. You're looking at least 4 years for most of these programs. You're going to have to do a lot of courses outside of this, like English courses and all those things, again, for your standard BS degree. And it's the most expensive. I mean, you can easily spend tens of thousands of dollars a year on university. So just know that the first way, university, computer science. All right, so the second way here is, and this is just one of many, this is called Hack Reactor. It is a coding boot camp. So basically for, a set amount of courses, they push you through everything. So you come in for either, I think it's a 3-month program is the majority of them. These are a little bit more financially, I'm not, everyone's a little bit different, but yeah, you're looking about, this one's about $20,000, $18,000. So, they're not necessarily cheap either, but they do give you the skills. I think the problem with what's happened with coding boot camps is that it's very hard to take in this much information in a period of like 3 months. I mean, most programmers spend time picking up a little bit at a time and picking up a little bit more and continuing to learn different skills as needed, not being put into a course where you have to go in there for 8 hours and push through a bunch of material that it's really hard for your brain to take in all that and to do it over and over, and to actually find that you're learning to actually be able to go into a position where you can do this for a company. Now, it is not probably the most popular way anymore, because these courses have actually been becoming less popular. I know over the years, like 5 years ago, there were so many different coding boot camps. However, more and more people have kind of been staying away from them because, again, it's hard to get out and get a job, and they're still not cheap, because people don't want somebody who's necessarily just been through a coding boot camp. They'd rather have somebody with a little bit of experience behind them, and even more of like a university degree or that experience. So the second way you can do is coding boot camp. There's a lot of them out there. You can take a couple looks. They'll get you through the HTMLs, the CSS, the JavaScript. That's one thing. They do focus more on the actual languages and the building of applications, which is beneficial more than kind of a 4-year degree that does more of the whole computer science of computers. And then the third way is something like Udemy, or something, I mean, you could even just use YouTube like this as you're probably watching this so that you can learn. So there's a lot of sites out there where you can self-learn. And now this is the way that I personally went. I mean, I was not a coder until I was 24, so I've been coding now about 10 years. However, you have to understand that when I started, I did have a lot of experience with computers. I worked at a computer lab at the university. I had always kind of been building my own computers from like even a hardware standpoint. But then I really broke into the code part of it at the age of 24. And I learned everything myself. One day I opened up a code editor and I just started typing. And I was like, this is awesome. I love it. I'm going to keep learning. I want to do something else. I want to build another website. I want to create something more. So there's a lot of different skills you can find. And again, this is just one website, but graphic design, UI, UX, web graphics, social media marketing even. I mean, that's a little outside, but there's the way of going through and learning all of this code yourself, and there's many different outlets out there on the internet these days. And as you know, things have kind of gotten more remote and more distant learning and stuff, you know, this is a great way to learn. This is the way that I've learned, and I loved it. So guys, so that's basically the thing. So let's go back. We have number one way is you go to the university. It's the most expensive, it's the longest, and I personally don't feel like universities are given the skills that are needed right now to fill a lot of these positions for these corporations and be an application developer and stuff. But it will get you in the door, and it is a good thing to have that degree behind you. The second way is going to be going to a coding boot camp, and there's a lot of them out there. I could show you more, but this is, you know, one. You could look them up yourself if you're interested. And then the third way is just self-teaching and self-learning. And again, this is how I went about it, and it's how a lot of people go about it. So guys, if you have any other questions, let me know. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. That stuff helps. And again, if you have any questions, we're always here. So take care. Catch you on the next video. Peace.